Hello, hello. I am thrilled to have with me the beautiful Natalie Levin. I am thrilled to have you with me. I read your bio a little bit.
Mhm.
You're an opera singer, yoga
Yes.
teacher. Now you've
Yeah.
gotten into astrology,
Yeah.
Gestalt, Jungian, trauma therapy, and 12 step. And we have just had a
Yes.
little discussion where we're talking about the quantum and manifestation, although I hate that word,
Yeah, I
but
don't use it.
really
Yeah.
being in touch with yourself and the magic that
hmm
this world brings. So,
hmm
welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest on your podcast. And for those of you listening, the way that Juliette and I have met is through this incredible, gorgeous, powerfully creative group on Facebook that is called Photos Party. And Juliet and I both dove into that. It's run by this beautiful woman named Bonnie Fahey, who is really at least leading me into exploring the gorgeous rainbows and multi-prismatic energies that I contain through the vehicle of AI art photos. And I've been watching Juliette do that, and it's been so inspiring. Specifically, Juliette, I've loved watching, like, there's been some bloopers that are really fun. I love the bloopers when, like, you try in AI to make yourself doing something, and then there's a group of people around you and they all have your face,
Oh
or
my
like,
God, right?
it's I know and they make me laugh so hard because being here on planet Earth is already so absurd. And so when there's these echoes of it in the art that we're creating through the AI, it really brings me so much mirth. Like, to remember that I'm a spirit having a human experience right now. And if I can step back and get this incredible, like, drone view of what's going on, it's really quite laughable most of the time. And then, like, seeing you step into your incredible power in some of these photos, you're really capturing this gorgeous sensuality and sexuality of your existence, and then feeling your power. I still know it's you. And I want to say that I was very intimidated about doing AI photos because I felt that people would judge me. I felt like I was going to judge me, and I was like, will it actually still be me? And, like, am I giving my power away? But in fact, it feels like I'm stepping even more into my power through the vehicle of these images that I've been creating. And I wonder what bubbles up for you around that.
I love it. And yes, all of that. So I got ill after I led a retreat in Lebanon and just lost a shit ton of weight in a really quick time. Got quite weak, just fragile. And I was like, you know what? I have some important messages and I just don't want to wait for a photo shoot or when I can do a selfie and I look halfway decent because those of us that create content knows that, pictures actually help pull people in. So then I came across Bonnie and I was like, I was just having so much fun with it because we also forget, like, as entrepreneurs, we have so many hats on that sometimes we just forget to have fun with what we're doing. And it can be completely ridiculous. I had myself coming out of a teacup at one point, which was just fun. I mean, there's a whole story behind this, right? I mean, I actually teach couples how to ask for adjustments by having them give each other a cup of tea and first asking for exactly the kind of cup of tea that they want in such specificity
Oh.
and then being there to actually receive it and then have a little shit sandwich, right? You're like, I love that you made me tea and this and that was right, and I asked for honey, and the tea bag out, so could you please go and change that? But how often do we actually have that amount of specificity? Because when we can do that outside the bedroom just for a cup of tea, yeah, then can you imagine what we can do when we're actually asking for physical touch? But this is the thing where it's like we forget that we can get a point across, or I say this, a touch that lands, right? A concept that lands by something really simple, by having fun with AI pictures. With you, I'm sure you've been an opera singer, yoga teacher, now all the other stuff that you do, you intermingle all of this so that a concept, so that a touch will land for people, so that they are in touch with themselves.
I love When you're speaking, it reminds me that, for example, I just taught a 2 hour yoga event on Friday night, and there were 14 people there. And I've been in Jungian analysis since I was 28, and I'm 54 now. And I bring that in. And now I'm feeling so confident and like knowing that I am this. I come from a family that mocks the idea of God. So for me to start my yoga practices like this, well, now I did this for the first time. It was really bold, and I was like, "Okay, everyone, I'm gonna call in our support before we start." And they were like, "Okay," like they don't know what's happening. I'm like, I give thanks to I call in all of Juliette's and my highest iterations of our spirit teams, our most well-heeled ancestors, our archangels, and our ascended masters into this space right now. Phew. And they're all here, and there's like so many. So many makes me jump up and down. And then I give thanks because Juliette and I, when we are not in our bodies, we know without a shadow of a doubt, we know when we are in our spirit forms that we contain all of the multiverses, all of the solar systems, all of the galaxies, all of the timelines, all that is right now, all the time, because we know that when we're not in our bodies, now, when we are actually in the meat, carne, incarnate, carne means meat in Italian. When we're in the meat of our physical bodies, we're able to call in with the support of our teams, the highest, purest iterations of our most abundant, and that includes financially because that is an energy that allows us to be well resourced in this particular paradigm. We call in the highest, purest iterations of our most abundant, including financially, our most divine, and our most benevolent timelines. And I give thanks that every single listener who hears this also receives this blessing and that we are all divinely led and divinely protected. And so it is. Aho.
Umptious. Yeah, there we go. And you know that you're touching on it, like for energy, where we have, all the masters, we have all the people that all the energies that we can pull in, as long as we
Yes.
also get rid of all the
Yes.
interference and the emotional interference that's holding us back from, being in this body in this lifetime.
Yeah. And I loved also hearing you say, as entrepreneurs, that we wear many hats. And when you said that, it was like this moment for me of really leaning into the term entrepreneur, which I never really was before. Before I was working at an office job for 13 years. They took a chance on the opera singer. That's what they said. We're going to take a chance on the opera singer. And I was there for 13 years, and it was a really comforting place to be because I was recovering from awakening to sexual abuse and incest. I was recovering from a very, very active sex addiction, where I would put myself in very dangerous situations over and over and over, with strangers like 3 times a day. I'm very amazed that I'm still alive.
I'm just digressing a bit, but which can often come from when you've had some massive sexual trauma.
Yes. Oh, yes, I know. Right. That was a real expression of that. And
Yeah.
so the office job was great. And then I was let go around COVID times, the pandemic. And then I was like, had my partner at the time who had a job. So I didn't really have to step into entrepreneurship. And now I'm single. And we share a 10-year-old. And I'm like, oh, I can't work in an office again. So I'm like, okay, I am an entrepreneur. For people in the United States and in Canada, I am able to sit with people as a holistic, trauma-informed, comprehensive financial professional, and I work with them and through the vehicle of money in very three-dimensional ways as a healing form. So that's one thing that I'm doing, and then I also work astrologically. I'm a psychic astrologer and hear the planets, and they move through me, and I can channel them and translate them into English for you. I teach yoga. I'm going to be creating an opera concert to raise money for my child's school. So this
Oh, how
also,
beautiful.
thank you. Thank you. Like the fact that there are no limits. Like, this came up for me before we had started talking, Juliette, about people, at least in this country, say, find one thing that you're really good at and focus on it and don't do anything else. That's like the message. And I am here to say that is not correct. That is not like the more creative libido, and we talked a little bit about this before, that you work in the realms of sexuality and there's sexual libido, which is creative. It's here to help beings create. And Carl Jung talks about creative libido as well. That font, it never dries up. And hearing myself say that out loud on here with you is reminding me that I've told myself a limiting belief that my sexual libido has an end. Like I have a limiting belief about that, but I'm
Just
disproving my own self because if creative libido and sexual libido are one and the same, and creative libido has no end, it is a limitless supply, then maybe that is also true of sexual libido. Like I'm having an aha moment.
hello, someone just got nailed. That was something that the touch that landed for yourself. Isn't it beautiful, right? To actually
Mm,
notice that awareness that we have. So I
mm,
might not be sexually
mm,
active, but
mm,
this, what I call scrumptiousness, this
mm,
chi, this life force, this energy that's running through me,
mm.
that's definitely available and that everyone can feel and everyone can touch, energetic and feel even physically in their body what that is to be touched by you, right?
I love the way you express that. It's so beautiful. It feel when you speak, I feel like these gorgeous crystalline castles. Like it's really precise and also so thoughtful and discerning and respectful, like consent requesting, even energetically, which is I really appreciate. So thank you for all of the amazing work that I'm imagining you have been doing on yourself in this particular lifetime.
I probably had to come back and and do some
Mm.
work because it feels like
Mm.
this lifetime has been definitely one of service. I help people pass over as well. I've had the honor of
Oh, you're a
helping.
death doula.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I'm so curious about your astrology chart now.
Which is really like the final touch, right? If we keep it in my touch
Yes.
languages. But
Mm.
and it's just beautiful to be able to have that honor of
Yes.
touching in with someone energetically, of working in all the different realms. I also do like actual physical touch body work, and I help people map their own bodies to like
Mm.
recognize where is their bracing, where are we holding trauma, what do we need from our partners there, how can we physically touch ourselves, how can we get spiritually touched,
Mm.
like you singing your opera. If I talk to people, I'm like, what's a song that touched you? What's a ballet
Mm.
performance? I came up with these cards after speaking, or after having had 600 clients that I use these prompts with. And now I'm just having so much fun going out, interviewing people on the street. I say, here, pick a card. And they're like, oh my God, these are really intense. So I'm just before this call, I've just like tweaked them and made them into two decks. One is a couple edition and one is a family and friends edition. So that one is a bit more PG and the other one is
Mm.
are a bit more intimate questions like, what were you told about sex and intimacy when you were growing up? I mean, people, they're openers. And
That's
it's I think
amazing.
what it is we want connection.
Yeah.
Don't we all just want connection? And especially after you said with COVID, you got let go. All of a sudden, you then find your way in the world again. It's like, how can I now connect? You've got a 10-year-old you're saying you're taking care of. You've got your ex-partner that you're obviously still connecting to and
Yeah, we still
co-parenting.
love each other, but we it's best that we don't live together. So I know that that is very rare. Yes, and this connection, even like being on here with you, I'm also leaning into how much I really love being with people who are awake and aware. I didn't want to say like people, artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, people who are not necessarily buying the myths that we are sold of this is the way to fulfill your dreams. Actually, who are you to, at least in the United States, it's like, who are you to tell me? And you're obviously not correct because it's not going well over here. So like I get to forge my own way. I get to, and this is another thing that I'm working on right now, which is the idea of permission granted to, because I feel like up until about 2 years ago, I didn't give myself permission to be as infinitely enormous as I am. Like I'm actually like I'm 5'10". I'm an opera singer. I can sing. Opera singers, for those of you who don't know, we don't use microphones. My whole body is my mic, so it is incredibly enormous and loud. And it wouldn't translate into this microphone here, or I would sing. But like, I mean, like let's see. Let me see what happens.
Now, would everyone like to just take a breath and notice what does that feel like to receive that transmission from Natalie? Because yes, she is larger than life, has the most incredible transmission in her voice. Look at her hair all like out there, and your energy is just palpable. I can imagine that some people are like, woohoo, okay, that's a bit much. So you must have heard that all your life.
You're too much. You're too much. My whole life. Yes.
And
And
yet there's such a beauty in actually being able to receive that, right? It's like, whoa, here is someone so authentically herself that she just breaks out into opera singing, gives us all a little snippet of it. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. I feel like we're talking on many different levels.
We are.
It's so nice. And so yes, to give myself permission to burst into opera, to do 5 million different things, to launch this. One of the things I did recently was I'm in a mentorship with a person named Christopher Plow. He's like an agency behind a lot of really big online movements. And I have been able to study with him in a container. And one of the things he's inviting us to do is he's like, just get out as an entrepreneur, again, get out there and start selling. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm selling. And he was like, it doesn't matter, just go do something. And I was like, okay. So I created a sales link and I was like, I'm going to do a 2-week challenge called Permission Granted. Because I'm giving
Love
myself permission to do it totally messy
it.
and
Mhm.
have no idea what I'm doing. I had 46 people sign up for at $11.
Woohoo!
I know, $11. And I was like, oh my God. And they were like, I don't care what you're doing, but I want to be in it. Like, it was really helpful. I gave myself permission to try. Like even when they clicked to buy and they purchased, took them to, it said page not found because I didn't even set up, it had a broken sales page and it
Love
didn't
that.
matter. It was
Yes, I've
perfect.
been there too.
It was like here. So this is permission. Other people then were in the challenge and they started doing it. They were like, oh, I can do this too. And they're having success. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm creating a 3-month one of these. So I have it's going to be 3 months of permission granted starting on the full moon in Taurus, which is delicious on November 5th. And we're going to dive into energetics and astrology. And I'm going to sing and we'll have some guest teachers come in. And it's going to be a place to practice new behaviors that you've been told your whole life you're not supposed to do because that's not correct. I mean, my mother is actually one of them. I embarrass her. Like she's always shushing me, and that template of having your bio mother be like, "You're too much. You're too much. You're too much." I cannot be contained. And finally, I'm like so enormous now, and I want to share that all beings have this potential because my life is so full and rich, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. And I want to invite people to like have permission granted to do that as well.
Oh,
Yes.
I love this. So 3 months, people will
Mhm.
hang out with you. You'll have guest
Mhm.
teachers. Is it like a
Mhm.
weekly thing? Do they get a
Yes.
community?
Yes. Yes. And it's
Beautiful.
also like, for me, the astrology of the next 3 months up and through February is very, very potent and very powerful and really inviting of transformation after transformation after transformation. And we are it is a time when having support is really, really crucial, in my opinion. Like I have three mentors. I have a Jungian analyst. Like I have a psychiatrist. I really invite in so much support to stay in my body in this lifetime. And another thing I want to say is, I would invite people to not trust one of their healers who doesn't also have a mentor or a healer. Like,
Yeah,
never
completely.
trust, right? Like, never trust a therapist who doesn't have a therapist. So I'm so thrilled for myself that I've assembled this incredible team, and I want to share everything that I'm learning with people. The invitation is sometimes like, who was I 5 years ago, and who was I looking for? And I am
Hmm.
that person. So I'm like, okay, you are where I was 5 years ago. Come sit with me. Let me be in my frequency so that you can, your very vibration, your energetic, your cells can start to vibrate on a new way, a new level. And that the astrology is that we're being invited into truly a whole new life, like in
Hmm.
this, and it starts around February. So if there's something about the way your life is going that you're not pleased with, this is the time to start to create systems and structures. And one of them can be having a container like this, or whoever, or something with Juliette that feels supportive, so that you can start to vibrate in the new frequency of what is coming in. Does that land?
Completely, and I've been feeling it as well, and a lot of people that are really in tune with frequencies and notice where there is an energetic and emotional interference coming in, trying to keep us, planted. I've just noticed the most incredible people come into my world, and sometimes it's as little as a 20-minute conversation with me that their whole trajectory changes. And I'm like, oh, what do I call that now? Because that's it, right? We goes like, oh, like our logical mind's like, oh, maybe I should have like a name for that. I love where you're going with this. I think
Mm,
it's a really important time.
mm,
And it's, of course, right before the 11/11 portal as well, which
yes.
a lot of people tap into. What is looking back on your whole life story to our listeners who may have been told you're too much or you're too big or you're too big for your boots or whatever it is, right? We've always been taught
Yeah.
something. What are the three things that you would say they can do right now to change?
Oh my gosh. Okay, one thing that feels really good to me is releasing the words must, should, have to, and need from your vocabulary.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. Release the words must, should, have to, and need from your vocabulary, because they are most likely not necessary and not serving you. And instead, could you allow in, oh, I get to, I want to, maybe I'd like to try. There's an invitation for me to. Let it be like, it's almost like a gentle seduction, or like the invitation is there for me to try this. And so that's really a good like 3D thing to try to notice when you say it, notice it, and very gently, oh, look, I did it again. That was my programming. I'm going to invite myself to be gentle with myself and let that go. So that's
Beautiful.
one thing. The second thing that I would invite people to do, well, for me, I notice that like when I have a lot of, I'm jumping, those of you who are listening, like when I have a lot of creative energy moving through me, I do have to move. And I'm noticing that when I'm working with people who are maybe me 5 years ago, they're very shy to move their bodies, very, very shy and very embarrassed and very self conscious. And I'm like, all right, if you guys aren't going to do it, I'm like, and make weird noises and allow, even if it's in the privacy of your own house, what would it be like for you to make sounds and noises with your physical being that you feel like society would judge if you were out in public? Practice
Permission.
yeah,
Yes.
permission. Practice permission granted for yourself to step into doing things that you think other people would judge, even if it's by yourself, that you start to strengthen that muscle. And then the third thing can also be, oh, what other people think of me is none of my business. That was a good question because I had answers. What other people think of me is none of my business.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. That we can just forget about. And then
Mhm.
I remember being at my first coaching container where I actually coaching program where I learned how to coach. We'd come to the States, we'd come to New York every weekend and
Oh,
I
wow.
for 3 days. And I
Yes.
remember being on that first weekend and they were saying, okay, so if you feel yourself judging, if you have that mind that comes up judging, just put your hand up and say, I'm judging. Or the moment that you fuck up and you think, oh my God, I fucked up, saying, fucked up. And it just gave us such permission to be in the
Oh,
moment and not like think, oh my God, I said that wrong and now everyone's going to look at me and la 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 la. The monkey mind that we go in, but by what you were saying as well, just, moving it through, shaking the body. Of course, we know that with trauma,
yes.
right? Just move it through and it's like, oh, okay, I fucked up. Hey, that was fun.
That's brilliant.
Oh, this has been a pleasure. Natalie,
Yeah.
let us know how people can reach you. Obviously, everything will be in the show notes, but
Okay.
just quickly run through where they can reach you.
Please find me on Instagram. I'm at Natalie Levin Astrology. My website is Natalie Levin Astrology. My YouTube channel is Natalie Levin Astrology. I'm on Facebook at Natalie Levin because they wouldn't let me put the astrology in there. And if you'd like to work with me in this incredible container, please reach out to me. I've made it at least in the affordable. I want people to be able to do it. It's 222 per month or 666 paid in full for the 3 months plus a bonus of a personally channeled astrology recording just for you based on your astrology chart. So I would love to have you. There's still room, and I am so thrilled that I got to be on here with Juliette.
This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.